bunch of you have been asking, how is my head doing? Am I fully healed yet? And the short answer is I'm doing really, really well. But I think it's worth going back to the beginning. I think it's important to tell the whole story because I think it might help some folks that might be going through similar struggles. And if you've been following me for a while, then this is an update on how things have been going over the past year. About 16 months ago, I got hit in the back of the head by an aluminum pipe that tipped over while I was shooting in a warehouse. It was my own damn fault. I put the pipe there a few weeks earlier and promptly forgot about it. It clocked me pretty good. But I didn't really lose consciousness. I didn't have much other than a lump to show for it. But I knew pretty quickly I had a concussion. I was pretty dopey and foggy-headed, and I had a massive headache brewing. And while I could see, my vision wasn't working that great. A CAT scan at the ER confirmed that I didn't have a skull fracture or a brain bleed or anything serious like that. They pretty much just told me, go home and rest in a dark room. Don't read, don't watch TV, don't do pretty much anything, should go away. So I did just that. Which I know now is the absolute worst advice. It's at least 20 years out of date, and studies show it leads to way worse outcomes. You should rest like that for 24, 48 hours max, and then start getting out and trying to do things again. But I didn't know any better. With every day I spent laying in bed, doing nothing, my brain was just stagnating. I don't know that it was very obvious exactly how bad it was looking from the outside. We're not actually building a single robot. We're building 2 complete robots with enough parts for 3. And the reason there is I don't know what I'm saying. Versus defense versus maneuverability, and you have to have enough battery to make it through a 3-minute fight. That was recorded a few days after my injury. It was so bad that after every take, my brain was just mush, and I was having to go take breaks between takes in a dark room to recover so that I could do it all again. I had a headache pretty much all of the time, and everything I did made it worse. Reading, watching TV, driving, even riding as a passenger with my eyes open totally messed me up. Any exercise, even just walking around the block, gave me a massive headache. And it wasn't just the headaches, it was the brain fog. It was like I was swimming through molasses. I don't know, everything seemed so far away. It was like looking through somebody else's eyes 10 feet away the whole time. I was irritable and pretty quick to get angry. Any form of planning was pretty hard, and I couldn't read very well, nor could I keep track of what I was reading, so researching how to get better was super difficult. When things got really bad, I started to slur my speech. It was sort of like being somewhere between drunk and hungover, but only the bad parts. After a few months of this, I knew something wasn't right. I was getting a little bit better, but not much. I knew I needed help. But finding it proved to be so much more difficult than I ever could have imagined. I couldn't get in to see a doctor in New Mexico to save my life, and getting into a specialist was a 4 to 6 month waiting list. I didn't have months to wait. It was clear that waiting wasn't working, and I was ready to get back to work and get back to the rest of my life. Eventually, I left New Mexico and came here to Colorado. My folks live here. My dad had a pretty good relationship with a concierge doctor who was willing to take me on and help me sort things out. By this point, I knew enough to know what modern concussion treatment looked like, but putting it into practice on my own was proving pretty difficult. The biggest turning point was when I released the video titled, "I Have a Brain Injury," letting you know what was going on with me and why I hadn't posted in so long. And I'd recorded that video about 6 weeks earlier when I was leaving New Mexico, but I was so afraid to even watch it, let alone release it. This video turned out to be the turning point in my recovery in ways that I have a hard time even imagining now. A number of people reached out to me offering all sorts of help and advice and introductions to concussion specialists and whatnot. It was all pretty overwhelming at the time, but all super valuable and unexpected. If you were one of the people that reached out and I never responded, I'm sorry. Reading and replying to lots of email was just out of reach for me at that point. One of those people was Chance Hansen, who is the marketing and content manager at Cognitive FX, which turns out is one of the top concussion clinics in the nation. He said that he had been a fan for a long time and wanted to see what he could do to help. And so he went to the partners of the clinic and he convinced them to offer me treatment for free, as well as to get me in as quickly as possible in return for telling my story, telling an honest account of what the treatment was like and how well it worked. And he said, if it doesn't work, we want you to say that. I knew I'd be a fool to turn this down, but I was also pretty skeptical. How could they cure in 5 days what I had spent months trying to heal from? And honestly, the results on their website seemed too good to be true. I told Chance about my skepticism, and he said, good, come try it out. Our results will speak for themselves. And I figured, what did I have to lose? So I went for it. I hired a local camera operator since I didn't feel up to filming myself going through such rigorous treatment. Boy, am I glad I did. By the end of the first day, I was just toast. By the end of the third night, I was having vivid nightmares, which, while not particularly pleasant, was a sign that something was changing. And I realized I hadn't been having dreams since before the concussion. Something in my brain was changing. By the end of the week, I was exhausted, but I was also really excited because while I was tired, I wasn't having the same level of symptoms or headaches that I was at the beginning of the week. It was more like a normal kind of tired rather than my brain just totally shutting down. But the most significant indicator was the brain scan results.
Goal, obviously, is we'd like you to look more like a normative healthy population patient.
Wow.
And there we go. Normative bell curves are good.
Wow. That's substantial. I was blown away. I went from a significantly abnormal fMRI brain scan at the beginning of the week to a completely normal one at the end of the week in 5 days. I drove back to Denver completely full of energy, which was good because I moved into a new house the following week and immediately started renovating the garage into this workshop. I have since learned that you are supposed to take some time off and rest after treatment, but I didn't know. My recovery after treatment wasn't overnight. It took months, but there was a slow and steady improvement day after day after day. Cognitive Effects sent me home with homework, an hour every day, split between 30 minutes cardio intervals and 30 minutes of cognitive exercises and eye exercises that were intended to stimulate my neurons, encourage neuron regrowth and blood vessel regrowth in my brain. The one thing that was really holding me up was my eyes. They still weren't working quite right. Anything that required a lot of visual attention gave me a headache pretty much right away. Editing, using the computer pretty much in general, and driving at night were the worst offenders. They said that vision was the slowest thing to recover, which was frustrating, but I kept at it and I did endless days of Brock string exercises and saccade, shining flashlights in my eyes to get my pupils to dilate correctly. But it gradually got better. And here I am today, more or less fully recovered. I'm not perfect. I still have headaches from time to time. There's a few specific things that will still set me off. Even a small bump can give me symptoms back for days. But I can think clearly again. I can see clearly again. And most importantly, I'm back to work. Which feels amazing. I can't even tell you. I wasn't sure whether I was gonna heal. It wasn't a guarantee, which is a really depressing thought. I had visions of giving up on YouTube and honestly giving up on engineering entirely. I even spent a particularly dark evening researching warehouse jobs in the area. I've always made my living off my brain, off my ability to think really hard and for long periods of time. It's a core part of my identity. What would life be like without that? It was super depressing to think about and at times made me want to give up entirely. It's a little hard to look back and appreciate exactly how far I've come. Alexa, turn on the lights.
Okay.
To remember what it was like when I didn't know when or if I'd ever get better. But I'm happy to say it's possible. And if you're suffering from a concussion, don't give up hope. Or let anybody tell you to just wait it out and sit around in a dark room. Keep at it, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Just like this workshop, it's a matter of making things better, one small step at a time, one day at a time. That looks pretty good. I want to make more videos. I'm talking ambitious iPhone modifications, building and modifying other consumer electronics, and restarting factory tours. But here's the thing. I'm spending way too much of my time doing stuff that's not this. It's not working on cool projects or figuring out what stories to tell. It's things like wrangling cameras and lights and camera footage, answering email, and having meetings. So I want to hire some people to help me so that I can focus on the stuff that I'm great at and that ultimately leads to great videos that you enjoy. I want someone here with me in Colorado to help me film and edit projects in the shop, and I really want to hire a producer and a camera operator to do factory tours with me. Plus, starting factory tours again means traveling more. And the economics of travel have changed a lot in the past few years. Not to mention, I'm not living in China anymore. And, well, all of this costs money. So I need your help. I'm starting a Patreon. It'll help me focus on engineering and storytelling, and it'll make me less dependent on stressing out about brand deals to support me and the rest of the Strange Parts team. I'm sure you already know the deal with Patreon. You give a few bucks to support me and Strange Parts, and you get some cool benefits, like behind the scenes stuff. Just to be clear, if things are tight right now and you can't afford to support, please don't sweat it, really. I want to mention some of the benefits which you might find interesting. So at the first tier, you'll get behind the scenes access to early cuts of my videos. We'll share with you rough cuts that we're still working on, and you'll be able to give us feedback and help us refine the videos. Plus, you'll be able to submit projects and story ideas and vote on polls about what video or project I should work on next. For a few more bucks, the next tier gets access to design files from my projects, whether that be circuit boards, CAD files, 3D printer files, or something else entirely. You'll also get a Strange Parts t-shirt, which right now is the only way to get a Strange Parts t-shirt. And at the top tier, you'll get your name included in a Strange Parts video. It won't be that like fast scrolling list of a bunch of names. I don't think anybody reads those. I want to do something cooler. It'll be an Easter egg hidden somewhere in the B-roll or the background of a shot. And I'm only gonna do one or maybe a few max per video, starting with whoever's been a patron the longest. So sign up now if you'd like your name in a video. You'll also get a Strange Parts hoodie. And again, this is the only way to get a Strange Parts hoodie. Now you might be asking, Scotty, you've been recently talking about putting videos on Nebula. Are you still gonna be doing that? And the answer is yes, and here's the distinction. So think of Nebula like Netflix. It's where I'll put finished videos, both videos that appear on YouTube, but without any ads or sponsors, but also exclusive videos that I make just for Nebula. Patreon is different. It's where you get access to behind the scenes stuff before things are finished, whether they're going up on YouTube or Nebula, or maybe even things that never see the light of day, and there are more than a few of those. I love Nebula too, but Patreon allows me to do things that I can't do on Nebula and vice versa. So you can sign up to Nebula in addition to Patreon, or you can do one or the other or neither. Both really help me keep Strange Parts running, so no worries if only one appeals to you. So if you'd like to support me and Strange Parts, you can go to patreon.com/strangeparts, or you can click on the link down in the description. I'm really excited about the year to come, and I hope you'll join me. And finally, I want to give a quick shout out to Cognitive FX. They're not paying me to say this. My obligation to them for my treatment ended a long time ago. But if you've had a concussion, whether it's recent or even if it's been decades, and you're still feeling the effects, please reach out to them. I really, really believe in their treatment, and I'm proof that it works. You can schedule a 30-minute phone call with them for free to see if you're a good fit for their treatment. And if you've had a concussion recently, they have a second, newer clinic that most insurance covers. And lastly, if you're having cognitive symptoms from long COVID, you should also reach out to them. It turns out that a lot of the symptoms of long COVID are very similar to concussion symptoms, and they're piloting a new treatment protocol that is showing great results so far. I put links to both clinics in the description below. Please let them know that I sent you. And take care of yourself and that brain of yours. You won't know what it means to you until it's gone.